time we taking over. Outer space going solar. Back then they showed no love. Punch drunk, hungover. Punch drunk, hungover on love. I had to learn to read between the lines. Overboard when they mention me at times. Know the Lord's intervention was divine. Political and social tensions on the climb. Not to mention they forget to mention how I'm swinging through like Sonny Liston in his prime. Used to dream about this every day. The way the hater living made. I know some church going women pray. What's worse, living in conditions made. Curses taking good men away. Fathers in the penitentiary. Mothers fighting for a living wage. Man. But this time we taking over. Outer space going solar. Punch drunk, hungover. Was fighting for a living wage. Drunk, hungover.
Good evening. I promise that new stream music is coming at some point. When you start dealing with licensing, you kind of get pigeonholed into just a couple of options that are kind of funny. Let's see. Let me get this up on Instagram. Let me know who's here. Sometimes I get funny results with my streaming platform versus who's actually live on YouTube with me. Okay. Getting settled in. I was solo parenting for the last week on our farm. On our little farmstead, and there were a lot of mouths to feed. And it was honestly great. I have no idea how it all came together, but it did. And that's just the way that it goes. I talked last week about God's kebabs, and that teaching continues to hold true. I don't know how the kebabs get there or where they're going. They just show up, and I just take care of what's right in front of me. And the more that I just do that, everything else seems to just kind of go smooth. So, taking care of a toddler and a little farmstead full of animals by oneself. Taking care of a 3-year-old toddler by yourself alone is worthy of, for a week, is worthy of respect. Shout out to all the parents doing what they can. I see you. Because it is full on. I mean, from the moment that you wake up, my son's up at like 6 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning, doing karate kicks in my face in bed. And it takes a particular level of just surrender to eat those kicks, right? Right into your face, right into your teeth, while just loving every moment of it, knowing that he's just the light of your life. And shout out to the farmers, because it is a full-on thing. Just having a small little handful of animals on the property, and all of the ways that everybody likes to get out and go in all their unique directions. It's just a whole thing. I have a particular ongoing battle with the ducks and the chickens getting out of their fence. They're so crafty, and they're so funny because they'll get out of their fence like first thing in the morning, and then they'll spend the whole day on the other side of the fence staring at their pond and this beautiful little oasis that we've built for them, longing to get back in. And it's just so funny. I'm like, you did it to yourself. You did it to yourself. Oh, what's up, Aaron? Okay, thanks for leaving the comment. I don't know, ever since last week, the chat stopped syncing with my streaming platform, so now I understand why streamers have like 7 screens to just see everything. So just give me one moment, Aaron. I'm just pulling up a few things, and I'm going to talk for a moment, and then we'll get into it. just take a load off. I think one of the greatest beauties that I've really been enjoying about Stream is that there's just no urgency. To the extent that people want to hang out and hang around, but I mean, ultimately, I'm streaming. I'm streaming for me. Ultimately, I'm enjoying coming on and just riffing and exploring and seeing where it takes me. But I really enjoy when people come on and want to explore with me. So thanks for joining, Aaron. Okay, I just pulled up your chart. So we're gonna get excuse me. We're gonna get going in just a moment. So the stream tonight is gonna be a little fun. The things that I've planned for tonight are, first thing is well, normally I just kind of talk about whatever, but we're gonna get started. We'll go into your chart to start, and then a good friend Eric is going to be joining me at some point tonight and coming on stream to come hang out. And Eric is an amazing musician. He has incredible gifts. I always say plays every instrument, but he just kind of carries himself that way. And ever since I was thinking about streaming and getting started with streaming, Eric is one of the first people that I thought of coming on live with me on stream and just hanging and exploring. I really want to test out whether he can like play music through stream and what that looks like. We have plans and ideas to actually set up and build out this whole studio section even more, where he could come here live. And we could set up like multiple cameras, and we could do a little something with Karen even, and like do like a little stream concert even, who knows, or just a jam session. Yeah, so he's gonna come. And you know, last week I also had a really fun time going into Kanye West's chart and exploring that. And I said last week that I'm not really someone who's like wildly familiar with so many celebrities that I'm going to start just opening up a whole series of going through celebrities and politicians and all stuff like that. I've never been that person. I'm always like the first person to ask who when somebody's speaking about like an artist or a celebrity that probably I should have heard about at some point or another. I actually really appreciate that quality of my lived experience, because I think it's brought me to a space in this work. It's just helped me lean a little bit more deeply into just like we're all human. Because I didn't have such like a crystallized pedestalization structure of famous people growing up so much. I mean, there's obviously some stuff that's there that happens just through societal programming and all of that, but it just wasn't such a thing. And but I really loved going deep into Kanye's chart. It wasn't the first time that I ever did that. I just did it for myself in the past, here or there, out of curiosity and just my own way of being able to look into charts and seeing like, there it is. There he is. From what I know about that individual and my own experience. And so I named tonight's stream Donald's chart, because the next one that popped in my mind is Mr. Trump. And I like barely looked at his one time. And I think that there was something really like surprising, like a surprising lens to his chart that was like, oh, that's interesting. And so I'm going to open it up again tonight and take a look. And last week when I was talking about Ye's chart, it wasn't even anything that I was like, oh, I prepared this whole thing. It's anytime that I look at a chart, it's just, it's like brand new, fresh. It's like, here's what's here right now. Let's get into it and see what's here. So we've got some time with Aaron. If anybody else joins, if anybody else is here who filled out the type form, who is looking to have your chart workshopped, as it goes always, just drop a line in the chat. And depending on where we are in the stream, I'll see if I can get you in. So Aaron, if you're ready, we can get set up and get into it. You feeling ready? You let me know and I'll send you a link. I'll get it all ready. All right, you're ready. I'm all over the place right now. Hold on one second. Let's see. Okay. Here we go. All right, Aaron, I'm going to send you a link to your email. And all you have to do is just click that link, and hopefully you're on a computer and you can join via Chrome. If you're not on a computer, you may be prompted to download this Riverside app. So try that out, see where it takes you. Take your time. You ready? I see it. Okay, we're good. She's tuning in both spots. She's on both. She's getting the full 360 experience. Shout out to Aaron's husband, Matt. Great guy. Great guy. Friend of the stream. He's probably dunking some basketball hoops right now. Going undefeated in his pickleball league. You're on a computer. Aaron, did you get the email I sent you? Oh, I hear something. Here we go. Hey.
That's funny.
What?
That you're saying Matt's undefeated in his pickleball league.
Oh, yeah. Is he not?
Hold on. We good?
You're probably going to be better if you turn off like watching on any of the tabs or anything, and you're just here with me, because you're probably going to hear it through multiple spaces. Can you hear me okay?
Hold on.
I did. I think it was like still connecting. Is it good now?
We're good. We're here. Can you hear me okay?
I'm getting double, and I don't know why. I'm off Instagram.
You might have a YouTube tab open.
How's that?
I'm with you. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, so I think I have to keep the YouTube tab closed.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise you're going to be in this infinite echo
It's
loop.
like,
The
which
key,
does not feel unlike reality these days.
the keys are just like that enough that to add that layer, it's just going to get a little too
Yeah,
swirly. So,
felt very quantum.
how are you? Nice to see you.
Thank you. It's good to see you too. I'm
Yeah.
great.
Thanks for joining my stream.
It's so exciting.
Yeah. Well, you've probably gotten just the little feel. I mean, I've basically been doing this as a way for people to drop in whenever. And, as we've explored and as you're familiar with the keys, just like this is an opportunity for people to come in and just like talk about whatever you want to explore that's going on. And if there's things that I see or we can see together in the chart and we can explore that, it's just a space for people to come, vibe out, share what's up, and see if there's any interesting codes from the universe that are speaking back. So I can, of course, just go and riff on things, but it's always nice to hear if there's something that's like a lead in of something that's here that you would like to share right now.
I was sharing in a container that I'm in with some other women. We study a gene key each month, and so we just happened to be studying 59, which is also my EQ. So I was sort of diving into that more because I never had looked at that very closely.
Yeah.
So that's been sort of interesting, especially to look at it through the lens of relationship and stuff. But I also feel like, even though, I mean, I feel like when I first met you was, I don't know, 22, 23, and, Gene Keys, that was the first seeds. But I feel like I'm finally ready to just like dive in more.
Yeah.
Even though I did that journey, I don't know. I feel like I'm like starting to get it more. So,
It takes a
oh,
few.
can I have that light? Sorry, Jai's coming in.
Oh, okay. What's that?
Yeah,
Is he back from? He's back from
he's back
cowboy
from cowboy
camp.
camp.
That's
Yeah,
amazing. That's
yeah.
so epic.
It really is. I'm
That
like,
is-
where's the time machine so I can go back, so I can go there, or I'll
That-
just work there soon enough.
I know, really. That's got to be like one of the most epic experiences that anybody going through, like as a child, could experience.
Totally. Hold on really quick. Hey, sweetie.
Yeah.
Jai.
I'm just gonna mute Aaron just for a moment while that gets taken care of.
I'm gonna be quiet. And now he's
Okay.
spraying something outside.
Okay, great. We're
Okay.
back. So, yeah, I mean, I still remember there was the time that you came and you were over and it was like, I still remember like you being on the couch and just like you being so, there's always a ring for somebody that I see when the keys are speaking to them. It's like, there's like a glint and a squint in their eyes. That's like, what is this? And I recognize it so deeply because that was the same thing I experienced. It's like, hold on, And when I noticed that, I'm like, okay, here, like, look at this book and just take your time. And it's going to feel like you're learning Chinese or whatever. And it will open up when it opens up. And then when it opens up, it's going to open up in a way that feels a little bit more like your way. And only you know what your way is because you will discover it. And that's what I find so beautiful about it, is like it can be tempting to look at something like that and be like, oh, here's a giant book. Am I just supposed to like stack this on top of everything else going on in my life? And am I supposed to read this and like figure myself out? And it's like, actually, the more that we just, I just welcome people. I'm like, put this book somewhere in your house that's not just like shoved in the back of a closet. And if you open yourself to being called by it, it will call you and you'll open it up and you'll probably open up to a page and it will tell you something about the exact moment that you're living through right there. And that is like you're off to a beautiful adventure from there. So maybe I'm already preaching to the choir a little bit, but have you been feeling a little like that a little bit more?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just like it's revealed not unlike an onion when you're ready for it. So, and it's been nice to be in a container where there are other people contemplating, and it's like it's not like, oh, I'm trying to look at my whole profile and understand all of that. It's like we're looking at one, and then sometimes it touches on my chart, and now I feel like, okay, I'm really ready to look at it more. And what's interesting is, I think I've mentioned before the 13 Holy Nights practice that I do, and I'm
Yeah.
Dragonfly this year.
Okay.
So, and
There you go.
I floated down a river yesterday, and there's like dragonflies everywhere. And then I also I gave Matt my book, and I treated myself to this one.
You have the Citic version of the book. There you go. Congrats.
Yeah, I'm like, I just turned 50. I deserve this beautiful book. And, anyway.
Amazing. All right.
Yeah.
Well. So, all right. So you're looking. You've been looking at your EQ, and I guess I just asked one other question: is there something that's like thematically present right now for you in your life that you're just looking for clarity on? Like, what's that threshold that you're like, that's the veil that I'm trying to look behind right now?
Well, I think, turning 50 was big, and I feel like I've been on a pilgrimage and just sort of collecting bits of myself, and now I feel like, because a few months ago I just wasn't really feeling super embodied, and I feel like I'm more embodied now than I have been in, I can't even remember.
Yeah.
But there is sort of this like, okay, it's not that I hope to get to 108, so I'm a little less than halfway. But I'm, there's this piece of like, what's the next? Yeah, the kids are going to be, Jai's almost 16. Like, so just this, what's the next plateau? What's the next season?
Yeah, that next chapter. Yeah.
And my offerings, like, where does that? I'll be homeschooling for maybe only with Ciela. Jai's going to a different school, so Ciela, it could be 2 or 3 more years, and so I see things shifting. So.
Yeah, definitely. Well, cool. Let's dive into it and let's see what's here. So, okay, so there are like 2 themes that we can talk into. And the first theme that I want to speak into is this is always an amazing one. Like we can come back and talk a little bit about transparency in a moment, but I want to start here with celebration. Your radiance. Your radiance is it's like your true sense of well-being and what's going to give you a gateway into how you like spiritually feel like you're well watered, you're well taken care of, you're just like you're clothed, you're nurtured by life. And this is where it kind of flips the whole sense of self-care sideways, because yes, all the basic stuff can happen, but you can do all of that stuff, and if you're not really living around in alignment with the frequency of what this archetype is, then it's like you can check all those boxes, but there's still something that can feel like it's really draining you. And this key, celebration, it holds a very unique placement in the entire codex of all the keys, because I mean the gene keys, right? Like and you've probably either through looking at Richard's work or simply just like maybe reading the preface of the book, like the word gene is there specifically because it's coming from this space of these are archetypes that are it's like they're kind of programmed into our DNA, like they're the building blocks of our DNA. And then there's a way of even looking at the keys that traces them to different amino acids and so on and so forth. And this archetype in particular, this key of celebration, holds what's called a stop codon, the stop codon. And the stop codon in DNA sequencing, Let me just look it up. Stop codon DNA. You'll see what I mean. Like the stop codon is basically it's the amino acid that when there's like, your DNA is it's like a programming language. It's like sending all of the programming for different proteins and syntheses to happen. And in order for that script to be read, there has to be an opening and an end. Otherwise, it would just be like an endless stream of nonsense information. Like there has to be a beginning and an end, a start and a finish for different processes. That stop ending, like bookend, is the same amino acid that is part of this archetype. And what that means is that it's like this archetype has all to do with our relationship with things coming to an end. It governs, if you look into the book and you explore this, and maybe you've read into this key, it governs what's called this this theme of this, like the 7-year cycle. This concept that every 7 years our body is completely, like we replace all of the cells in our body. And so 49 would have been the last ending of a 7-year cycle. And when you end a 7-year cycle, especially 49 would be the 7th 7-year cycle. So like if you want to even just put on your mystic hat for a moment, like the repeat of that, like 7-year cycles would be maybe like doubly powerful. And so 50 is really a powerful new, like I'm stepping into a major new gateway for myself. And what is here around my relationship with my expectations around what I think is supposed to happen or thought would happen with my life at this moment, what's leaving that I may be wrestling with letting go of, and just knowing a little bit of what, in your story and the homeschooling and how massively important that was for you, like fundamentally, massively identity-oriented importance for you as just like a powerful mother and just nurture and even in a sense, a big sense of purpose, like seeing the glimmers of like, that's sort of starting to taper out. I can see that now. And that what's next. And you see this gift of detachments, like what's coming up for me around how I let go. And so maybe we could just start there and see if there's anything more that wants to come through now, starting here and taking a look at this.
I mean, yeah, certainly. It's like just hearing you say those words brings up emotion for
Yeah.
sure. Because I think I would pause and just sit here for a really long time if I could. And I'm sure you feel that way of like age 3. I don't want,
Yeah.
And I did get a glimpse like a month ago in this container I've been with these other women. There's a mom and a daughter in this group, and hearing their relationship and just knowing that I'm going to have a relationship with adult children at some point. And even though it's like I'm not trying to rush that at all, it's like something I haven't even fully wrapped my head around, and how beautiful that could be. So it's like, it was just, well, I know there's grief in the like letting them go and flying, and spreading their wings more and more. Like every day I see Ciela just, she just getting more and more, she's becoming a teenager
Yeah.
right now. Yeah,
Yeah. It's deep.
it's something. It's really not for the faint of heart,
Oh,
man.
it's just, I mean, being a parent myself, this is like it's like the grand joke almost in a way. It's like here you're handed, you didn't know that you could love anything beyond yourself, like so much. And yet, just from that very first moment, they're starting to move away from you. And especially as a mother, you will have another layer of depth to that than I could ever know as a father. And that's just it's so deep. Kai asked me today in just one of these moments, I was getting ready for the stream, and he just like looks at me, he's like, "Papa, you play trains with me?" And I was like gonna go and get set up, and I'm like, of course I'm gonna sit here with you for a moment. And I just feel that sense more and more of like, when might be the last time that he asked me to play trains with him? I mean, he's 3, like presumably this is gonna happen for a while, but there's always that sense of like, and it's so deep to hold that.
Oh yeah, I mean, when she takes my hand and we're on the street, I'm like, is this the last time she's gonna do this in public? You know, like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was already on the opposite side of the street of my mom, you know, at this age. So
Yeah. I think that, Aaron, this is like, can you tune into any single one of those moments of like your kids going out the door, you're like almost as if that there's a whole dojo of a practice in that's like every moment you say goodnight, every moment you say goodbye, every moment like the hands let go, being so sensitive and in tune with what's there. And this line 3, I'm going to talk about this as well in a moment, but just like making a whole art form of a practice around that art of letting go, and how present can we be with that? And it's like that will take you all the way to the ends, the depths of your soul, and that letting go. It's so deep, and I can just feel that emotion in you right now around it.
I mean, it's also, that's been part of the journey already, right?
Yeah.
Letting go in other ways. And I don't know if you know, my sister took her life when I was 26 too, and that's where Samuel got his name. So there has been. I did not know that. Yes. So there have been goodbyes for sure.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to hear that, Aaron. And it adds another layer of like, this is where, when you look at this stuff, and it's like, okay, this Keys journey is about letting go. And it's like, you pull the encyclopedia off the shelf of your life around every experience around letting go. And you dust off the cover and you flip through the pages and the chapters, and it's like, there's so much around that. And it brings you into a space, these keys, they bring you into a space of really deep reverence for the pain around that experience, because this is an extraordinary gateway to how you shine in the world. Your ability to metabolize and alchemize that pain and the suffering around letting go and all of its permutations in your life helps you to walk around the world shining with this sense of like, I really know what it means to reckon with that. And therefore anybody and everybody, because we all wrestle with that pain of letting go, like moths to the flame will find that much more resonance and a sense of home in your presence, because they're like, she gets it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I feel that deeply.
It's a doozy.
It is a doozy. But it's also, I was listening to Zach Bush talk today of just like, this is all perfect. And to sit at people's deathbed and they just look back and they go, oh, it was all perfect.
Yeah.
The range of the emotion that we get to feel it all. Doesn't make it easy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You know, one thing that I'll share, I was going to say about the line 3 here, Aaron. You have a predominance of line 3s throughout your chart.
Yeah.
So 3 in culture, 3 in SQ, 3 in IQ, 3 in core, which is also vocation, which has, you know, a link in a sense to do with like the work that your calling, your work in the world. 3 in your radiance, 3 in purpose. Like these are big spaces, especially when you have across this line from core to IQ. This sequence of these 4 keys talk about the 7-year cycles, starting with the gestation in the womb, and then moving on to your first 7 years of life from 0 to 7, when your physical body was developing, when you're still kind of in that Garden of Eden sense, like you're still energetically landing into the physical form for those 7 years. Then you move through the next 7 years, the puberty years, where your emotional body, your astral body is being developed, and then the final 7 years of the first those three primary cycles when your mental body is being developed in your teen years from 14 to 21, where you're starting to place yourself in the world. And when you have a unified, like repetitive line through that space, it's like it's like a foundational component to your constitution of how you've grown and how you move through the world. And so it already, from that lens alone, asks for an extra like pause to take a look at that. But then when you layer on top of that culture, which is how you relate kind of with society at large, your purpose, which is like this base sense of roots, like your sense of embodied foundation and stability and rootedness in life, both everything from like where you live, income, just like that sense of stability, also your relational foundations in life, like the foundations of how you relate with others, and then your fundamental sense of well-being. All of these line 3. And so when you look at the line 3, and I also share the line 3 as a core wound, so I know this one deeply. And shame is a son of a bitch. It's a son of a bitch. It's real. It's like it's so tricky. And it's tricky in the sense of like it always wants to move just one step further or one step quicker than is needed to really sit and make contact and be with it fully. And so pairing this with that practice around letting go is like shame would be the wound. It's kind of like the pinball effect. It's like wants to do the hot potato, hot lava dance, because if it stays any one place for too long, it might have to grapple with like what doesn't want to be seen. You know, shame doesn't want to be seen. And so it's solar plexus based, and the solar plexus holds deep emotion, and shame, this wound, there's so much deep emotion. It's like, what are the emotions that we've avoided? And so when we look across that whole spectrum and all of this, and when we talk about, you know, maybe zeroing in on this lens of the letting go practice, that's where I'm seeing this thing of like, if you could explore what would it look like in a practice where you're so tuned into that letting go every single moment, almost like you wake up and you make it a playful endeavor, as deep as the emotions might be, a playful endeavor. Like, I'm going to be as sensitive as possible. I'm going to intend to be as sensitive as possible to every moment that I'm like letting go with my child today. And in those moments of letting go, maybe she crosses the street or goes out the door, or the saying of goodnight, or the dropping off at a friend's house or something like that. In that moment where like the door shuts, or like, and the let go happens, before moving quickly to the next thing, can you pause and just like really sense that? It doesn't have to be long, and you can also be in touch with like if it's too much, to then go and give yourself that line 3 thing of like a new fresh experience. But you might find that in those moments of just giving a little extra breathing room there, it might open up a whole new lens to the experience of something that existed far deeper, yet is linked to that surface level experience of just like letting go of that hand in that moment.
Love it. And I have been having experience after experience after experience, which has been really beautiful, but I can see myself being like, I need to sit in these, like the just even taking that sacred pause. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's good work.
It's deep. It's deep. And also like one of the gifts of the line 3, Aaron, is that it's a catalyst. The line 3, when I think about all these adventures that y'all are always going on, like that's very line 3. Line 3 would be the ones that would come in and be like, I've got the plan for the next cool thing that we're going to go to. You probably have been that person, right?
I am.
You are that person. That's amazing. And it brings these like fresh, exciting new experiences that like enliven. Did you discover the cowboy camp?
Well, it was through friends, but
Okay.
yeah. But I have to say, I have to just share this little bit. So I had a circle. I had like a celebration of living circle for my 50th, and I had my closest girls together, and I just said, "This is my moment to like go around this room and share with you what you've taught me, and how much I love you." And so it was so beautiful. And at the end, I was just saying like, I know being with sisters and being together is like it feeds me so much. And I think that's a big reason why I was sort of feeling out of it this spring, or just not fully myself, because I had in my like pulling back a bit, when I wasn't feeling myself, then I wasn't engaging and I wasn't doing the invites, and people expect me because I've been that person to invite and stuff. And so I just said, so I was really proud of myself because I said, just want to let you guys know, like, I like to be invited too.
Oh.
And I like to not plan sometimes, I would love, and me, I'm a YOLO gal. So, and part of that YOLO piece is losing my sister, losing our son at 22 weeks. Like, I'm just like, life is meant, life is a gift. Tomorrow's not guaranteed.
Yeah.
But, but just said like, I don't always want to be the one. I love it. But also like, if you see me not around. And so I've gotten invites in the last few weeks, and it's just been so sweet. Because it's like, my friends know that some of them just like, they just don't think of it, or they aren't, like that's not their flex, but they're trying to grow into that too. So it's just been really. That's
incredible, Aaron. I'm so proud of you to just hear that you've been doing that, because that's like, think about this, like the expectation, that's a shadow, and like that whole thing of being expected to always be that line 3 catalyst, that can be a draining experience. And to bear that, and then the shame may just kind of keep dancing around doing that, because shame would be, one of in its own way. I guess all the wounds do their thing in their own way, but shame in its own way would maybe not say anything and just keep on doing that dance around meeting those expectations, holding that because of, okay, like, is this going to like challenge? Because what does solar plexus and shame deal with? It deals with our sense of worth. You know, am I worthy to expect that invite? You know, and like, is my sense of worth wrapped up in other people's expectations of me being that catalyst?
Right.
And so by you literally like even just like detaching from that identity, like label, that I love how you're saying it's like people don't even people just get comfortable into the circuitry of the dynamic and may not even realize. But then when you're able to bring that, if they're good friends, which they sound like they're good friends who can actually hear that and receive that, then it's like, oh, okay, now we can recalibrate to a whole new existence. You get to still be that catalytic person, but it's not under this shadow like blanket that's hiding some of the pain, the griping around having to always be that. So I'm really happy to hear that you shared that. Yeah. Yeah. It's like when you bring up the Zach Bush thing and like that, it's all worth it. I just, if I look at anybody's chart who has a ton of line threes, I'm like, that person's going to have a very interesting journey. They would probably be the one who'd have the big map in their house with all the pins. Like,
You don't even want to see my national park map of like us plugging in the things.
I called it. I called it. I called it.
So funny.
You do you have that. Like, go for it. If there's anyone on this, if there's any constitution that would be the like one to try to pin every place on the planet, it would be the one with the dominance of line threes. So, but
I'd
yeah,
have to dive more into the line three because I'd love to get a better
Yeah.
understanding of that. We could dive into that
yeah,
in the future.
yeah, and one thing to know, this is like I don't even know if I can pull this up. Seven Sacred Seals. This is a little sneak preview. At some point, I'm going to take people through. I'm going to have like a whole thing where I take people through the Seven Sacred Seals and the Gene Keys as a group. And
Ooh. Yes.
yeah, it's basically, so when we're talking about this core wound of shame, there are, across the 6 lines, there are the 6 core wounds. The wounds that correspond with each of those lines. The line 1, repression; the line 2, denial; the line 3, shame; the line 4, rejection; the line 5, guilt; the line 6, separation. And the 7 Sacred Seals is this, it's a really powerful mystical journey with the keys where you connect with these archangelic frequencies and you basically work through each layer. You start at the 7th seal and you come to the 6th and the 5th and the 4th and the 3rd and the 2nd and the 1st, and you're moving through the chakras, like starting with crown all the way down to line 1, root. And as you move down in density, it's like the stuff gets more visceral. And the reason why I bring this up is that each of those seals have a specific key that is like the universal healing agent for that line's wound. And so when you look at the 3rd seal, hold on, open. When you look at the 3rd seal, the seal that works with the 3rd line wound of shame, the key that heals that 3rd line core wound of shame is the 25th key of universal love, the gift of acceptance, the shadow of constriction, the gift of acceptance. It's a deep journey into the solar plexus of really learning how to accept what is. Because the shame wants to jump. It wants to avoid. It wants to dance. It wants to move. It wants to flee. It wants to get out of there. And so that energy of bringing in deep acceptance to what is, you might find if there are layers for you coming up as you're working with this practice around that, you might connect with that 25th key as a gateway into like bringing just a powerful field of love and acceptance to what is.
Love it.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on, Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry it's taking me a little bit, but it's the first time I've really parked my butt at home in a while.
It's all good. All in perfect timing, you know?
Yeah, totally.
I'm really approaching this stream as just a place, and I've said this to other people before, is like, you know, it's like, it's a place to come, hang, explore. We get so much about hearing about each other's experiences. Sometimes I'll have guests, like, I think you were on that morning with Karen Nevcheska. Typically, Thursdays right now, because I'm just doing an hour, it just makes more sense for it to be more of like a teaching vibe, like a work, like almost like I'll pick a topic. And the topics that I'm going through, I literally started at key 1 and I'm going all the way through 64. And I'm just going to every week, like, hey, if you're dealing with stress, like, here we go. But I also say that just because you filled out the type form, this isn't like a one and done. You used your free coupon. Like anytime you feel like dropping in, whether just to hang or if you feel like you want to hop on live, the door is open so long as the space is there. So thanks for joining, and
Thank you.
send my love to your family.
I will.
Yeah.
Just getting excited to see you. Very
Yeah.
exciting too. In
Yeah.
real life. So,
Yeah, definitely. I'll see you soon, Aaron. Thanks
Okay.
so much.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Shout out to Aaron. Really fun. Who's hanging on Instagram here? What's up, Mom? Hey, Mom. Hey, Sophia. Hey, Eric. Eric, you around? I do not know why my chat isn't flowing into this space. That was great. Oof. Shame is a doozy. Core wound of shame. Yikes. What do I want to say about shame? You know, I have, what I'll say for shame is, what's up, Mom? What I'll say for shame is that I've had healing experiences with shame around really sitting and being present with it and really just feeling the depths of the emotions that are there in it all. Like just really giving permission for just like, okay, I'm not going to avoid it anymore. I'm going to really just sit with this, be here, and really hold the muck. Like shame always, to me, just feels like it's just this like muck. I'm going to sit to just really hold that. And a huge unlock for me with shame also came from me kind of defiantly not entertaining it. And the defiantly not entertaining it is not coming from a space that says, like, shut the F up, because that sensation is emerging from a deep part that needs your care and your love. And sometimes the best path of giving care to that part is going to look like sitting beside it and really holding it with it, and sitting and just letting it let it all out. And sometimes shame needs a quick, just like, bop, hey, like you cut through all of that noise, you cut through that sludge, and you're just like, hold up, get me over here. You cut through that noise and that sludge, and you go like right through with your gaze, and you're just like, I see you. You are greater than this. It's like you reach through that muck and you bring yourself up out of that muck with this sense of conviction. It's the solar plexus. It's moving with this sense of this personal empowerment. It's like, I believe in you beyond all of that muck. You are meant to shine. Frankly, it wasn't until I started doing that. That flight school came to be. I was so much immersed in this looping experience with shame, believing more and more that the more that I just settled into all of that and just sat with it and tended to it, yada, 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 like that it was going to change. But I actually really just needed like a firm, like hand on the shoulder, like, yo, man, there is another way. Like, believe in yourself. There is another way. And it wasn't until I cut through that muck that it was like a whole massive layer that hid me from the world, hid my gifts from the world, just like, just cleared off. So I have deep respect for anybody reckoning with shame, and it has and continues to be a massive teacher for me in my life. And one of the ways that I am tending to that shame as my core wound and in my vocation is, you're looking at it right here. You coming on, showing my face in this space. Raw. You get what you see. Eric, are you here, man? Who's that? Oh, it's my mother still. Sometimes, oh boy. Sometimes I get excited. When I see somebody from college up on my Instagram or something who I haven't spoken to in many, many years, and hasn't really said a word to me at all in all those years. And I'm like, what do they think when they come on? I'm always holding out. And if anybody from college is hanging on, popping on stream here or there and hasn't spoken to me in many years, drop me a line. I want to speak, because something had you knocking on my door. I'm waiting for you. Eric, I'm gonna email you a link. You just have to join via Chrome or Microsoft Edge. I doubt that you're an Edge user. If you came on and told me that you were a Microsoft Edge user, I think we would spend the rest of the stream trying to understand why you're a Microsoft Edge user. Shout out to the 7 Sacred Seals. You heard it. You heard it live. You heard it first tonight, that I will be leading a journey through the 7 Sacred Seals. Probably, yeah, Eric, just take your time. I'm good. Probably this winter. I always find that winter is an amazing time to go through the 7 Sacred Seals. It's just like a deep contemplative time. And it's often in my experience, the time that you're just like wanting to connect with, it's like it just feels for me like winter is more of the time when the veil feels thinner because we're in that quieter inward existence. And if if you know me, I winter's my season. Winter is when I come alive. I am most like winter. In fact, so we have a puppy. He's 6 months. Let me see if I can pull up. Let me see if I can pull up an image of him. He's the sweetest. Oh my goodness. Hang tight here. We're gonna get a puppy image on the stream here. Hang tight. Hang tight for the puppy. Here we go. There he is. This is Winter. This is our new puppy. He is bigger now. This is when he was, I think, 2 months old. He is a Maremma, Italian livestock guardian dog. And he is maybe 6 months now. Oh, yeah. So, Aaron, his name is Winter. His name is Winter, and he and Griff are best friends. And they protect the herd. They protect the whole herd. And my personal favorite thing about his name being Winter is that he Karen has a love-hate relationship with Winter, and now she's forced comically by life to just say all the time, "I love you, Winter. Winter, come. Winter, come here. Winter. Oh, Winter. Winter, where are you?" He's such a sweetie. He's so sweet. He's an amazing, amazing guy. And he's just like so much in his puppy energy. He just kind of wants to nibble and gnaw on everything. But we have been transitioning him out to, transitioning Griffin to being fully outdoors. I mean, he is transitioned now. He's fully outdoors now. We set up a little space for them, and I'm going to build them a more proper shelter for this winter. But these dogs, livestock guardian dogs, they're meant to just be outside. And a friend of ours who bred these dogs and has done a ton of research and has them for their own farm and as guardian protectors, he was saying, he's like, they want to be outside. Like if you took a Maremma and you brought a Maremma into the New York City apartment, they would like really suffer because it's just not in the constitution of their how they want to move and operate through the world. It's like fundamentally at odds to who they are. And he was joking about how the like he made them the shelter in the winter, and they just like, it was like a brutal winter. It was like -20 or something like that for a few days, and they were just like sleeping outside, just on the like out in the middle of just like the snow and the ice, just like so happy. And so once we started to move Griffin outside, Griffin had all of these skin issues. We gave him one time this tick medication because tick season can be kind of brutal. We give him one time the like classic whatever tick medication is that the animals ingest, and it's like ridiculous because it literally you're just putting poison into your animal's body. And he got so sick with his skin where he was just having like his skin got like super oily and his hair was falling out. It was awful, and we did so much to treat him with different shampoos and tried to restore his like gut and all of this stuff. And some of it sort of worked, but once we moved him outside, his coat is like so shiny and beautiful. It's just like being outside all the time now is restoring his like inner like gut, and maybe just being in the sun more. I don't know what it is, but it's just like you can feel it in him that he's just very, very healthy now. Maybe I need to just like put this as the cover image on every one of my upcoming streams. People will just join. I could look at that all day. Are you kidding me? Look at this guy. Karen was the one who prompted this. And I was just like, oh man, like how are we gonna... We're gonna go and get another dog, and once I saw those eyes, it was game over. I knew it was game over. I knew when we left our house that it was game over. To go visit. Eric, how's it going? Are you able to join? So, here's an update, Aaron. So, Ruby has a new home with Cass and Ocean. Cass's child, Ocean. And, oh, hey, buddy.
Oh, hey.
Hey, big dog. Coming to you live. E-Money on stream.
Oh, you're like ahead of it. Okay.
What do you mean?
I'm
Oh, you have...
listening to you on stream and I'm talking to you
Oh, yeah, you have to like
moment
close...
before.
You got to close out your YouTube window. Otherwise, you're going to be hearing...
Yep, gotcha.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But just to finish the story, Aaron, Ruby was, there's, I'm going to give you like the slightly abridged story, but basically we just kind of always knew that there was something fundamentally at odds with the progression of the farm and what Ruby needed, but we tried in many ways to adapt and make it work. But it was all like, it was starting to get into a space where she'd be almost like stepped on or kicked by the horses or other things. And one thing led to another. And then Cass approached us and was saying that like Ocean came over one time and just fell really in love with Ruby. And they talked about getting Ocean, like taking taking Ruby in to be Ocean's dog. And Ruby has been there and she is thriving. She's like in absolute heaven. She's like getting all of the love and attention that she has always craved. And we have the benefit also that, a couple times a year she'll come over, and I can't wait. I'm going to weep when she comes back over, but it's like she's still part of the family. Yet she gets to actually have a life of a dynamic that's really satiating to just who she is. And so, yeah, shout out to Ruby Booby. Eric,
Howdy.
what do you want to do, man?
What's on the table?
Well, anything's on the table. I thought that, you would come on and play us a tune or something. No, I'm just kidding. But anything, I mean, it's really, I mean, what's going on in your world? You've been doing a lot lately.
Yeah, I'm curious to see it. I don't know if you do like your work through the Gene Keys, or I was checking out what you were saying with Aaron, and I didn't realize you could get kind of like granular with like throughout time and seeing those 7-year or like probably even more
Oh, yeah.
small increments. But yeah, I'm curious to see that. And yeah, I mean, this year has felt sort of like a sea change for me in terms of like all these threads that have woven throughout my life kind of feel like they've reached a point of maturity,
Yeah.
where I'm kind of like more situated in how to just be in my dharma, I guess.
Yeah. I feel like you're really like, you've been just like working in all these ways and like putting your stuff out there, and you've been really, really teaching too, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I launched a container for people who are called to sing, especially in ceremonial settings. So it's been powerful because it's really encouraged me to like distill what my methods are,
Yeah.
and it's been really delightful. We're in kind of like month 2 right now, or going on month 3 of a container that I designed for people to really embody their expression and really learn how to improvise with their voices
Yeah.
in a ceremonial setting. So working with either plants or some people are just kind of more in like the yoga space or devotional singing, but it's
Yeah.
it's been really cool to go from vocal embodiment to really like teaching the music fundamentals and how those serve one another with authentic expression. So
Yeah. I'm
the
curious
music,
how
yeah.
I'm curious how that's like been, how it's felt like getting into, I mean, I'm trying to see here. Hold on. Let me pull this up here.
Sure. Oh, I thought you were looking at my chart.
Well, I'll get there.
Sure.
I'll get there. No, I just wanted like, I mean, are you hosting this like it's an evergreen thing that people can join at any time, or are you kind of taking a
That's the
group
intention,
together?
yeah. I did a push to tell people about it like as it was beginning, and
Yeah.
then I'm actively getting their feedback as I go. So I haven't been telling people about it as much, but it is ongoing and people could join whenever.
Yeah. Eric is going to. I'm telling you, man. It's probably got to happen this winter. It has to happen. I mean, I'm launching flight school right now, and like literally this last week, you would have just laughed with Karen being gone and traveling, and me just doing the farm by myself while also
Sure.
doing it. It's like I'd wake up and I'd be like, all right, presuming that he naps today, that's like I've got 2 hours. And then otherwise it's not
Just for your
until he'd go to bed, and then it'd be like if I happen to wake up, because going to sleep with him it like he does ninja flips for an hour. And like you're just laying there with the lights off waiting for him to rest, and
oh
then
yeah.
you inevitably, because the day has just been so exhausting, you end up falling asleep, and I'd wake up at like 11:30 or maybe midnight and be like, do I want to go and like just get like one more hour of something going? But I really feel called, man, to, I'll just shout out to Eric's work. Like I feel like there's it's like with anything. Somebody can look on the surface and be like, "Oh, this is about like the entry point of like the music, or like I want to play the guitar or something like that." And then it becomes like a whole universal theme for somebody's life of how they allow their voice to come through. I'm curious if you want to talk a little bit
Yeah, I
about
mean,
that.
the best way to really illustrate that is through an example. I don't know if you want to talk about your journey with singing or piano, but
Sure.
um, you know, a lot of times people have what I would call either, a block or some kind of challenge that was introduced in their life. A lot of the adult students that I work with have, the story that their voice isn't good, or, some kind of traumatic experience that kept their voice inside. And so, that psychological one is an interesting one, because you form a belief about your voice and how you relate to it. And, there are certain skills that go into making a sound and singing, and they're important. They're important to cultivate and experience your awareness of them and refine them. And, if you have a belief about your voice that keeps you from even getting started with that, it really does damage your potential, because you're not giving yourself the opportunity to even get started with it. So
Yeah.
a lot of times what I'm working with people is kind of undoing that thread, especially, because these things are important. Like if that's part of your story and your purpose is to share your voice, then it's kind of like a dam that needs to come down, And so, this doesn't only affect singing, but also speaking too.
Yeah, totally. I mean that's like one of the big ideas for me. Let's just call it like this fall. Once I'm done with this launch, man, I know I've said it a few times, but I feel like that's actually when space is going to open up for me to really lean in, because I feel I know myself, and I'm like, when I go in, I want to be so full all in, where it's like, this is my block, like every week or whatever it is, where I'm committing myself to music and my voice. Because I mean, even just here on the stream, I've been tuning into it, and especially just like, shout out to Eric for helping me find this sexy mic. Look at
Yeah.
that. Woo! Silver bullet right there. I love this mic, man. I mean, and I sit in front of this mic, and I had a whole moment where I just like, when I unboxed it and I was setting it up, and I just like really prayed with it, and I welcome it's my way of relating with things in life. Like
Like a
this is
talisman kind of, yeah.
yeah, like this is the first microphone. I mean, there was before, when I was doing some podcasty stuff, I'd just grab Karen's mic, and it's amazing. And I could have done that, but there was something symbolic to me buying my own mic. Like, this is something that I am relating with. It's teaching me, it's calling forward an entire voice, an entire persona. And I really feel that space within me, that here I am leaning into myself as like a broadcaster. And I see other layers to how that is going to want to keep on opening for me in my life. And certainly there's entire giant oasis of music that has been just like swimming around inside of me, that one day the perfect key code combination is going to open up where that's going to be able to like flow through my hands and through the microphone in ways that I can't even possibly like imagine, but I feel it deeply. And yeah, I'm sending Eric Justin Bieber songs. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm like, can you teach me how to sing like this?
totally.
You know?
Well, that's the other component is the music, like really getting to know the language of music. And you've listened to music all your life. You've got excellent taste, and you know how it affects you emotionally and what the vibration is that it holds. You know, the all of those things. But until you really interface with it from a creational place, a creative place, you know, it's like it's always outside of you, you
Yeah.
know? And so it's like we need to give you the opportunity to internalize those things. And the word that I don't know if I don't know where it came from, but the word that I use for it is audiation. It's kind of like an imagined sound, right? So the skill of being able to do that and to be able to access the songs in your head, so to speak,
Right.
and actually express them. That's like the skill that the record producers and musicians really practice. It's tuning into those radio stations that are out there in the ether and then turning them into real music. And so, you know, we need to have some music fundamentals to do that and really practice an instrument or your voice and learn to associate these memories with felt experiences in the body and give them a place to go.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting to play with that idea that every great song that will ever exist has already been written. It just exists, and it's just a matter of time for it to be birthed through whatever the vocal box is that will birth it to meet that time, that age. I love when I get this stuff. I've been getting like, sometimes I'll get with my Instagram algorithm, it'll tune to like different like artists, and then all of a sudden I'll just see a bunch of their stuff. Like I've had a ton of Michael Jackson stuff lately,
Yeah.
and there's like this clip of Michael Jackson in the studio, and he's going through like 50 different takes of him going like this small little section of some song. I don't even know what it is, of him being like, go with it, jam. And it's like, and the guy's like, okay, number 12. And he's like, Michael Jackson's just sitting there, he's listening. He's like, okay, let's do number 13. And it's like 50 different takes of just that little section and all of these little nuances of shifts. And when you feel into that, you're like, wow, like the caliber of Michael Jackson's, like in the spiritual realm, like when you think about like that voice, you know, and that like diamond like voice box that was installed in this vehicle, this vessel that moved through life, and then to just see the artistry in some of these old clips of him creating and putting it together, and the passion and what he like kind of commanded in terms of the meticulous specificity of like all of that played through. And fascinatingly enough, also with like Prince, like some of that like competitive like gusto that went into that as well, and like these two super comets, like, and how they were showing up in the whole
Absolutely.
space. It's just like so fascinating to me.
Yeah, Prince would even stay up super late, and apparently the hypnagogic state between, you know, the very early hours of the morning, it's like when you're kind of like half asleep. Those are when the ideas can really flow,
Oh wow.
and especially what I don't know if you talk about the plant medicine journeys and things like that on here, but just really being in that state, that liminal space.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. No, it's like really I mean, you can see, and I think that there are even videos where Michael Jackson speaks about the like the songs as gifts. Like
yeah,
I think that there's a bunch of footage of him speaking about
sure.
it in that way, and his relationship with it in that way.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was listening recently, again on this tangent, to the documentary they produced on Fela Kuti called Fear No Man.
Yeah.
And, he was really accessing these songs that would repeat for 30, 40 minutes. It was an ostinato for the band of all these different interlocking parts.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that he composed it was just sitting there, clicking his teeth, and just kind of channeling. And then he would just get up and say, "Okay, these are all the parts: tenor sax, drums, bass." It's like you just hear it in your mind, and
Yeah.
then it's there.
I've been really, there's been a whole stream across, I mean, there's been like hip hop, there's been pop, there's been like EDM, there's been like rock, like there's just been this real passion, I'd say, that has been blossoming in the last 2 to 3 months, especially around some of these like legendary artists and people, and just how they started to put things together. And yeah, it's just like it's just very fascinating to me, and I think it's something that has been humblingly intimidating to me in many ways, because I have a relationship and partnership and experience with somebody who is like, since like age 3, age 4, is like
Masterful
a
vocalist.
masterful vocalist, right? So there is some of this experience of living around this person that's like, she can hear from a mile away whether my voice is even just like where it's coming from and where it's located in my body. And it's not just because of her vocalism. I mean, we know the full spectrum there.
Sure.
But it is something for me that I'm like, I think it's an important presence to be there, because when I consider myself moving into that journey of really like starting to create music beyond just like ways that I've been leaning into my voice already, I'm like, I'm here for it and I'm ready for it. And I feel like there's something that I'm finding less so the intimidation factor of like the who am I, but actually more just falling in love with people who like really fell in love with that journey for themselves. And
That's really what it is. Yeah.
deep appreciation of like, I mean, it's like with some of the Bieber songs, or like the one that I sent you, it's like wow, like to just like tap into his soul through that one track that I shared with you specifically, where it's like he's in the guitar, and he's just like, you can just feel him embracing all of the flair of his voice and what makes him him in that very simple track that's like so playful and good. And then you see something like Michael Jackson's Studio, and it's like the passion, or you see something in like hip hop artists or whatever, and it's like that is it's like, to me that just feels like that's the main thing, is like, can you just kind of move past all of the other stuff and really zero in on like what lights you up,
Yeah, and
and
that
letting that
takes
flow.
that can take years, decades to arrive at, and it's amazing to see an artist grow in that way. And it kind of circles back to my point earlier about you know Arrested Development, and like, what if Michael Jackson never got the opportunity to sing with his brothers or something like that?
Right.
It's like that could have happened in some parallel universe, and
Right.
maybe you're in the parallel universe where you didn't get to sing like your partner did at a young age. So
Yeah.
it's just kind of, that's what I'm trying to undo. And I always see it as kind of tragic, where people are like, yeah, I didn't really get the chance to have music in school or whatever, or church or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. There's a friend of mine, who I'll spare naming, who used to say all the time, my voice doesn't make the singing sound. I think is how she is how she used to say it.
That's
My
really
my
really
voice
sweet.
my
Yeah.
voice doesn't and like she would be like very endearing and light and humorous about it. Like, oh, my voice doesn't make the singing sound. And it was like, yes, it does.
I've never held it out more than a
And
second at a time.
yeah. Yeah, and she eventually like sang and but yeah, there's so much wrapped up in that. I mean, the voice is the gateway between your inner universe and what
So
is
much of what I
beyond
do with
you.
people is opening the jaw, the throat, just a very basic somatic approach of like accessing your low body and the breath and making sure you have a full breath and that you actually get to hear that in your sound and feel it so that the throat's not doing the work anymore. It's about really relaxing into your low body and expressing it openly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is I had a I there's a chiropractor that I go to in Red Hook, and she did like a jaw release, like
Yeah.
an inner jaw release, and man, that was like so. It was really deep. I felt like I needed more of that, but now that I'm just like tuning into it, for me when I think about us working together, there of course is like the whole musical element, but I really feel into like what is in this study of like how can I align this whole channel so everything that wants to flow through
Yeah.
in and then back up and out through this broadcast, through this mic, on this stream and beyond is just like butter. It's just
Yeah.
boom. There's no friction in that. And I know that once we start meeting regularly, like this stream is going to evolve. Like all of the things of me putting my voice out there is going to evolve because people are just going to sense a like deeper landing in the tonality and the
Yeah.
frequency waves of how my voice transmits. And that's really exciting to me and just feels so necessary. Like I actually fundamentally tune into. I want you to know, as much as I want you to know, I'm not just like stringing you along. I just know that there's a sequence, a domino sequence that's playing out in my life to make the requisite space so that I don't have another experience like I've had many other times with music. I've had many experiences in my life, man, of like picking something up, feeling that like I really want to lean in, and then one thing or another, it's just like it didn't fit. It's like the notes didn't fit the melody of my life in that moment. And so then it just fell apart. And so I'm like holding steady for this space where I'm like, that doorway is opening up. I'm willing it to open it
Beautiful.
up. And that I fundamentally see that not just as like something that's going to open up the very like tactile, like expressive benefit of me just being more in my creatorship in that way and being able to express myself musically, but I fundamentally believe that there's a plateau ceiling of where I can even access in my broadcasting with my voice
Yeah.
as is. I know that fundamentally, and I know that the work that we're gonna do is gonna like open up a whole new threshold for me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you or someone else described it as kind of like this toroidal field where I can kind of just feel that as you're speaking, like the frequency response of the mic and your body and what you're accessing above and below you. It really is flowing, and yet there's more that could go into it, So yeah, I feel that too.
Yeah. Do you want to take a look at your chart or something?
Okay.
It's up to you, man. It's either your chart or Donald
Oh
Trump's.
boy, I think I hear enough about that man,
No,
but I
know.
guess I hear enough about myself too. So
Yeah,
it's a
we'll save
coin
Donald.
toss.
We'll save Donald for another time. I don't think that at this stage of the game of the stream I can get on and open up
Yeah, it's a can of worms.
Donald's whole journey. Give me one sec. Let's see. Here we go. Hold on. There we go. All right. What do you want to know? I mean, maybe you've seen how I've asked people. It's like, obviously I could just say something, but it's also, cool if there's something that
Yeah,
you're
I mean,
curious
I guess
about.
just the context, any context you can offer around, going into this fall, this winter, anything that pokes out to you intuitively.
Fall, winter, and like, what do you mean for
Well,
fall, winter?
I'm like, this year is really stabilized for me in a lot of ways, and yet I'm kind of feeling like another wave of expansion is kind of coming up
Mm-hmm.
after this month. I really want to kind of revisit my own creative work, the songs that I've got like in the cache of hard drives and things.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, I don't know if personal life is even a priority right now, but that's something I'm thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
Evolutions there, and then yeah, just the work that I've been doing with people, and what the next wave of that might look like.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, it feels like this last year created some momentum, and it just keeps carrying on.
Yeah. I mean, how has it felt in your work, like right now? Like, what is it feeling? Is like thematically here right now. What's up,
To me,
Maggie?
it feels like almost like I need a little bit of help getting people re-engaged with the work in a way where they can. I know summer gets busy, but I almost feel like I need like to corral everyone back and be like, let's get things going again.
Yeah. Yeah. Like in terms of people like to come and join you and like work with you privately.
Or the ones who already are. It's almost like I have trouble getting through that second level with them.
Yeah.
Where they're. But obviously, that's why I designed it to be a 6-month container, right?
Yeah.
'Cause at some point, people need to go on a trip or something else. But
Yeah. Something else kind of coming up and getting in the way. Yeah.
yeah, I just find that, like, I guess it's a theme with everything that's challenging. It's like, and even kind of what you were speaking to, it's like the melody doesn't fit their lives. And it's almost like that's my job, is to help them break through that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And in my mind, I'm doing everything I can by just making it all very approachable and consistent. And it's like, whenever you need me, I'm here, kind of thing. But at the same time, sometimes people just can't show up in a consistent way for their own practice.
Yeah. One of the things that's interesting here that we can take a look at, and I don't think that we've ever spoken about this together, because we've spoken about like these 4 main ones a good amount, and I may talk about them in a moment, but I want to talk about this one, being, because this is not only your core, which is like a gateway to your deepest. Oh, to just reiterate what I was saying with Aaron before, this whole pattern with the red keys is called the Venus sequence. And the way that you normally move through this, if you go and like work through the entire journey of the Venus sequence, if you take like a Gene Keys course, or you just, self-guide yourself on that journey, or go through something like that with me, is that it's a journey back in time. So your purpose key, think about this as like you're starting at like the like the surface, and then each layer that we go through, we're going like a little bit deeper and deeper and deeper, all the way back to this, like the core kernel of who you are.
Okay.
And so the purpose is, it's like, when you look at the chart, it's at the base of the chart. It's like the foundations, the roots of the tree. And when you look at it through the Venus sequence, when it's looked at through that lens, it's like the foundations of your relationships in life. And now when we're talking about foundations of your relationships in life, it's like, well, if that's it's like that meme with the pyramids, where it's like y'all aren't ready to have this conversation, where they show the pyramid and then underneath it's like the obelisk.
Yeah.
it's like this is like the purpose is the pyramid, and then like you go back, and then this is like the journey all the way down to the bottom of the obelisk, And so it's like, yeah, this is the base and foundation of like how I move through the world in my relationships. And that is like a massive territory. But then like now I start to dig down underneath. And then the attraction sphere is like, has a lot to do with our like intimate and romantic relationships, how we operate in that space. And then underneath that, you have the IQ, which is the third 7-year cycle from 14 to 21, when we're in our teen years, when we're developing our mental body, our way of being able to perceive ourselves in relationship with the world at large around us, and this association of kind of like, where do I fit in to the world around me? Then you go back to the prior 7-year cycle, the EQ, when the emotional body was developed during the puberty years, all of the mucky, emotional, just swimming in that goop of the molting process that's happening during the puberty years from 7 to 14, and everything that comes in there. Before then, you go back to the first 7-year cycle of birth to 7, when our physical body is being developed. That's considered like the Garden of Eden territory, where we're still literally just like landing. We're kind of deeply connected into that other space. And you can watch, whether it's in your own journey, in looking at photos of yourself. I know for me, when I start to look at photos beyond like that age 7, it's like, you can see where it's like the rose tinted glasses have come off, and the reality and of just like seeing the world like more for what it is. And that transition, that's like a huge transition. But during those first 7 years, it's like really like how you're growing into this like physical space, and like learning how to be in the physical body in this space. And then before then is the womb. It's the gestational period, all the way back to the moment when the sperm hit the egg. And it is fascinating because the core, which is like your core, your deepest wound, the original rupture, when the sperm hit the egg and then you emerged into the world of separation and duality from that infinite sea of oneness, that ends up becoming your ticket back home, that you spend your life, your vocation, your calling in search of the repair around repairing that wound to find your way back home. And so there's a deep connection with that, like primordial rootstock of who you are, with what you're here to kind of do, your calling in the world. And so when you look at this key, the key of being, the gift of naturalness, this shadow of self-obsession, this key is, it's like an interesting journey into, it's like being is like the Siddhic version of laziness. It's like divine laziness. And the divine laziness is like it's like, I need not do anything, yet everything happens. And in the shadow of self-obsession, you can see also like maybe in that space of where you can, this is where you can almost look at the city and the shadow and almost see like where a profound level of a shadow relationship with laziness is like very self-obsessed. It's like only what I want and what I care about and everything in that. But really this whole Keys journey is a journey of coming into the perfection, like the naturalness, like the gift of your own natural voice, like the gift of your your true effortlessness. And it's like when somebody thinks of singing, it's like, and I think that you, I'll ask you to comment on this in your own experience, but I feel like when we were talking about some of these musicians like Michael Jackson or Bieber, like some of these people, or Prince or whatever, it's like when you see them in their expression, especially Michael Jackson, it's like there's like an effortlessness. There's so much happening, but it's like it is just an isness. And that can be really like mind-boggling for people looking at it, because it's like, how does he do that? And it's like, it's actually just, that's just the music that was inscribed on that vehicle.
Yeah.
And he's just getting out of the way of like being the road bump to letting that flow. And so this to me is like this journey, which would be a deep journey. It's like the seed of who you are. Like you can map from this point, you can trace through that chart. If you actually start to go in and look, and I do this with myself, it's like it all comes back to what's right in this. Like you can trace the seed of everything else, kind of coils up into this space, that it comes down to like, where am I? And especially with the line 3, which the line 3's core wound, we share the same core wound, shame. Shame has all to do with our sense of self-worth. And like when you start to pair these things around like self-worth and laziness and like the yearning to kind of just like allow myself to just be naturally who I am, and how does that butt up against my own feelings around what I need to be or do in order to experience, or literally experience a sense of self-worth, or literally experience like worth flowing into my life materially, or beyond. That's kind of the juice that we're working with when we're looking at the 10th key being and the line 3. So I'm going to pause there for a second, see if there's anything that you want to say about any of that.
I'm not sure what I would say. I think that's kind of where I'm spending a lot of my days lately, is kind of floating in and out of that kind of divine laziness, I guess. It feels kind of like that, where
Yeah.
I'm kind of just in, I don't know, it almost feels like I'm like between radio stations or something.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's not much else I can do except just go with that.
Yeah. Here's let me see if I can pull this up. Where'd you go? Here we go. So every shadow has a spectrum of how that shadow expresses, both repressively, where we turn that self-obsession inwardly upon ourselves, and reactively, where we project that outward. And everybody relates with it differently, uniquely, depending upon who we are, what we've lived through. Sometimes we oscillate between those spaces. Sometimes we have a bent where we're like more repressive or more reactive with it. But self-obsession, that spectrum is self-denying on the repressive side, which is where it's like you actually, it's like not even permitting yourself to be like self-obsessed, which in and of itself is like a self-obsession, like an obsession with the separate self that would lead you to not even giving yourself permission to do what you want, be what you want. That would
Yeah.
be that would be self-denying. That would be the repressive. It's like you're actually so obsessed with the separate self that you deny yourself from even being able to just be who you are.
Yeah, I think I resonate with that the
Yeah.
most.
Okay. Yeah. And then the other bent is narcissistic. It's like what we would more commonly associate with self-obsession. It's like just, totally in one's own universe. Everything's about me, like, all of that. But yeah, this is where you might look and see like,
That definitely manifests itself too, but sort of in a roundabout way.
yeah, it's like this whole keys journey. It's a funny one because how do you teach being? like,
Yeah.
like that's like the Zen koan, it's like the thing that is just meant to unravel.
Well, I know that meditation really does work well for me, even if it's just dipping in and out of it for a moment here and there.
Yeah,
It's almost like I can get a sense of what is not authentic in that being way,
yeah,
and then get back into it.
yeah. It's like I would welcome somebody exploring this. Is like your vocation, your best work that's going to flow through your greatest calling is going to look like in some way, shape, or form like a true sense, like this key of being. It's like the apex of the essence of effortlessness, ease and effortlessness. It's like your ability to just, there's nothing to add, there's nothing to remove. It's literally that sense of like just getting out of your own way of what wants to be. And I believe that when I look at you and the work that you're doing and helping people with their voices, it's like helping people come into like that naturalness of who they are.
Yeah.
And how can that be almost counterintuitively like this sense of like it's actually not an effort. It's like it's actually a journey into releasing the effort. And in that, if you're going to study that, it's like what you teach ends up becoming something that you've like lived through and are growing to master yourself. Is like, where are you being asked to release more of the effort in your life? And what does that look like for you? And like, what is your relationship with laziness in life? And how is that wrapped up in some stuff around, your sense of self-worth or shame or anything like that? Because there's in your own journey of like unraveling that stuff across your life are the codes that then transmit through the way that you then hold people in your work, in your vocation, to be able to tap into that same level of easefulness in how everything is just opening up and flowing.
I definitely can understand that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And that really clicks and resonates with what I've noticed with when it works well, Definitely have experienced that already.
Yeah. Here's something. Looking and looking and exploring where in your life you might even like shame yourself for being lazy in any way. Like that would be an exploration with like shaming yourself around the amount of effort that you put into something, or maybe where you experience some of that shame around like that self-denying, like where you know that you could put, like, this is the interesting about the self-denying. So there's, on the one camp, it's like where might you shame yourself for being lazy? Okay, like that's just like where do you get on your own ass for like
Yeah.
your own ability to put effort into things? Okay, the other way of looking at this is the self-denying piece is like, it's tricky because it's like, if you are, maybe you have a bent where you just kind of like allow yourself to be lazy very often, and it's like, in that, where is that gesture actually denying the most effortless way of how your soul actually wants to live and exist in life? And part of that journey into that more effortless way of being and existing in life might look like you're starting to put in more effort in certain spaces, but it's not an additive effort. It's actually just, it's just actually coming into more alignment outside of that whole matrix that is denying yourself the experience of living that effortlessly. Do you follow me with what I'm saying there?
Yeah, it's a fine
It's like a
threshold.
fine line there, you know?
Yeah. Well, I can offer you some context. Maybe you can help me
Sure,
reframe what you just told me in this context.
sure.
For a lot of my 20s and early 30s, I was really, you know, on the horse, so to speak, of writing, recording, releasing music. And, I think at a certain point I saw that as self-obsession. And I kind of went into the healing journey and more in terms of, self-denying, maybe showing up for other people and helping them as a way of kind of just having more of a balance to that
Yeah.
narcissistic kind of pull. And yet, I still really do want to go back and finish a lot of those songs and feel good about it, feel like I can celebrate my story.
Yeah. That, to me, man, that is like what you're saying. I love that you shared that, is like getting into, it's like, okay, to go and finish those songs, that looks like effort, right? But actually, it's like that, this, where are you like denying yourself? Excuse me. Denying yourself the, like the gift of your own medicine, you know what I mean? Like the gift of your own the gift of your own gifts.
Yeah.
Because, it's like, if you're just only ever surfing the waves of other people's growth and experiences, and you're denying yourself your own experience to really like publish and put out there, that then the shame loves to avoid. It loves to dance around, it loves to hide, it loves to make the excuses, it loves to like create every which distraction thing to just get in between,
Yeah.
like where you are and actually where your soul wants to be.
Right.
And so it might look like taking like the one project, whether it's picking something up that is unfinished or it's starting something completely new that doesn't have its old baggage and other territory. It's like, not that those gems ever need to go and go away. Like it's like you may be able to go back and revive them, but it may take like a little bit more of a sense of like that solar plexus like energy online to go and revise the old skeletons, because baked in those closets with those old skeletons is all of the other little twists and turns of shame of like, why didn't I bring this out sooner? Is this even relevant anymore? Do I even like that style anymore? All that sort of stuff. Is there something, maybe there's something in there, there's a treasure that has really been calling you and still really speaks to you.
Yeah,
I
there
would
are.
encourage you. Okay, great. I would encourage you in this moment with this to lean into whatever would be there that feels most like the fuck yes
Mm-hmm.
to your system,
Yeah.
because if you're overcoming that, the weight of the self-denying and the weight of like the laziness, the shadow laziness of your own potential, then you need a little bit of like rocket fuel
Yeah.
in you to break through the like the gravitational pull of that. And so it has to be really like striking some deep chord in you that's like, I feel this is play for me.
Mm-hmm.
This feels not like an effort or not like something that I'm going to be mulling over in the context of like my sense of worth or as a
Okay.
musician and all of that, but I'm actually just like doing it for me because I fucking love
Yeah.
this project. And then as you move through that one, see what the next one is, what the next
Cool.
one is, and just like leaning into that as much as you can. And then that may open up something for you that's like, oh, here's a whole new, easeful, natural way of being able to approach my artistry that
Mm.
is unlocking, that actually doesn't really feel like effort anymore because I'm on that
This is what I really long for, what you're
melody.
describing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel that for you, man. And I see that. I see that in you.
Sick.
It's gonna
Yeah.
happen. We're
Yeah,
talking about it.
what you're describing with that process of being playful. I'm just really picturing like all the steps in a music production, and at various times it has felt really playful, like setting up the drum kit mics and getting takes, and then laying in the other tracks. And I've got all these sketches of improvisations that I made that are really exciting to me,
Hmm.
and that I've kind of listened to for years. And some of them are really, I do feel like I could get back into that playful mode and make those edits and come out the other side with it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sweet. And one thing that might be helpful in this process is because this key has a little wink around the whole journey into laziness, is how can you set yourself up so that there's minimal friction for you being able to tap into that space. For example, I I'm someone who operates like this. Like I need to create the studio for me to come online. Like it's like I have to create the environment, I have to build the workshop, I have to build whatever the thing is that is the cocoon for me to then step in, and once I'm in there it's like boom, I go.
Yeah.
This studio here, back before when I was doing some podcasty stuff, when I had to like put it up and take it down and put it up and take it down over and over and over,
Hmm.
just like a nightmare. And now
Yeah.
I have like my funny little stream deck and I've got like these lights and I have like one button that I press that boom turns everything on. It's like, how can you make in your own universe with whatever it is that you're creating, and to the extent that you have the apartment space to
Yeah.
set it up, but like make it so that it is so like lazy to actually be able to lean into it. It's so effortless. There's
Uh-huh.
no friction. You don't even have to set anything up. If you need to buy yourself an extra chair, if you need to get like an extra mic or an extra like
Mm.
change the cables, like whatever it is. So literally all you have to do is just like sit and pick it up and
Yeah.
go.
I might just hire a drummer to play
Well,
on some of the
well,
songs or something, and
well, that even, yeah,
that might
like
make my life easier.
leaning into
Yeah.
your own sensitivity to where you could be a little bit lazier about things.
Right. Instead of playing all the drum parts myself and
Yeah,
getting hung up on all the rudiments and whatever.
That's that play with the laziness. You see, it's like there's the shadow of the laziness. It's like, this is too much effort. I don't want to do it. But the acidic level of the laziness is like, I don't want to do it. And that's okay
I want it to
because
get done.
I want it. I want it to get done. Yes, I need not do anything and it gets done. That's the whole thing. Richard tells this story when he talks about this key of he talks about there's like the bodhisattva and the arhat, and the bodhisattva is the pair with the 10th key, which is the 15th key, fluorescence. The bodhisattva energy is like the energy of the enlightened being that goes back into samsara to on this quest until all beings are enlightened. And the arhat is the opposite end of the pole. That's like, there's no such thing as an unenlightened being, and therefore there is nothing to do. It would be the quality of the individual that just is like, nothing need ever be done because it all is. and he tells a story about there's like the bodhisattva standing next to an arhat on the side of the road, and a man gets in front of them, gets hit by a bus, and the bodhisattva like feels deeply like it's his calling to go and like be of service to that man who got hit by the bus, and like goes and tends to. And the arhat is like, I need not do anything, and everything got done. I just was fortunate to be standing next to another guy who went and took care of it. I didn't have to do anything. And it's like that neither is wrong, but it's like a different tuning to a frequency, and that arhat is embodying the energy of literally like, I need not do anything, and it all gets done. The drums get played, this happens, so effortless.
Cool.
You got the point, but I'm just saying, like,
well,
make
it's really, I'm letting that sink in and really feel like that at easeness of it moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, imagine a you where you're just putting out all these bangers, like,
Right.
and somebody's like, bro, how are you doing all this? And you're like, oh, it's just like easy.
Yeah, I got a lot of
It's like,
friends that are really
got
talented.
a lot of friends that are talented. It just kind of comes
and I
together.
can play everything myself too if I have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It takes, how long did it take you to record that? Oh, it's just like one take. Like that's like the joke of this key is like, it would be somebody like that who would just come along and it would be like, it would hack for people this sense of like, oh, I thought that like excellent music took like all of this effort. And again, there's like an asterisk there because obviously there's a journey.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson became Michael Jackson because Michael Jackson lived Michael Jackson's journey,
Sure.
But this being is just like, it's reaching that, stepping into that energy that's just like, it's flowing through. And I believe for myself, when I look at and I think about experiencing more of your medicine for myself, that's what my soul is really craving. Because look at what I'm reckoning with. And if you think about me as like a client and I'm trying to meet you, and we're trying to connect circuitry so I can like unlock this thing in me, I'm wrestling with my own shame around my own laziness of actually becoming a musician. And so if you step outside of Patrick and Eric for a moment and you step into that like that energetic level, as you unlock that more within yourself, it's going to directly arc and speak to whatever part in me.
Okay.
It's like, oh, it doesn't actually have to be as effortful as I think it needs to be. Like it can be more easeful.
True. That, and you just saying that helps me unlock, because I see that all the time for people where it's like, yeah, it's really about the approach, even more than the results sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. This would be what I'd leave you with, man. What does it mean to be a musician? Like, what is that? And like, as a contemplation, and as you move through your life and you like move through your space and you touch the instruments, like,
Yeah.
what does that mean for you? And it's like an open-ended rhetorical.
Yeah, it's
sort of
almost
thing.
Yeah, I don't want to answer it completely because I know there's more to it, but just being in my studio, sometimes I'm like reluctant to even pick up the instruments because it's like to bring them through the whole arc of using them and recording them. It's like it's almost too much sometimes. You know, it's almost like I've gotten bogged down and saturated with all these. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
streamlining the process and making it more playful.
Look at this, man. What is it? His like
Yeah, he's got like nothing in the
cabin
room.
studio.
But
Yeah.
he's not the one playing the instruments, so
No,
kinda-
he's not. No, he's not. But it is the.
but it is a space to create in. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like what's it? The Malibu
Yeah.
house. I just always think of this image. Where is it?
Yeah, it's just like
Yeah, all you have to do is just have
Totally
Rick
empty.
Rubin's Malibu house, man. You're gonna be fine. No.
yeah, just go to the ocean.
Yeah, it's just I don't know if it was this one, maybe it's this one, this image, but it's just like it was something where it's just like, oh, there's like just like one acoustic guitar out, you know,
Yeah.
and you know, obviously you have many needs, and obviously Rick Rubin has like a space where all the equipment exists and everything. It's not just that, but it's like
That
this sort of philosophy, I think, is like what I'm trying in your own way of coming into that sort of philosophy, where it's like all of the other friction and effort level
Yeah.
around it has been like metabolized. Like you could put together the whole orchestra, but you don't need to,
Right.
because yeah.
Yeah, what would be really cool is to like I mean, obviously it's going to be a strategy thing, but yeah, like having having access to a space where I could just bring in what I need. That would be really nourishing just to think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet, brother.
All right, cool. I
This is
appreciate
fun.
you.
Yeah, thanks for
taking us through
joining.
that.
Yeah. No, come on anytime, man. And maybe sometime you feel like coming on and even just like jamming or playing
Yeah.
a tune sometime. We could do that. You're always
Yeah.
welcome.
Okay, wonderful.
All right, buddy. I just looked at the time,
Say
so
hi
I'm
to
probably gonna.
the fam for me.
I will. I'll catch you soon.
All
We'll see
right.
you soon.
Bye-bye.
Peace out, Eric. Oh, there we go. Well, doozy of a stream tonight. I had a great time. Thank you. Shout out to Aaron. Shout out to Eric. We went deep into some stuff tonight. This is great. There was no space for Donald tonight. That's quite all right. It's quite all right. He takes up a lot of space. And but he'll have his moment on here. Whenever that will be. I think one thing that I learned tonight was, well, you know, here's the thing. When I'm looking at charts and I'm seeing a series of, whenever I'm looking at somebody's chart and I'm seeing certain themes, I'm simultaneously exploring within myself, like, well, why is that? That theme is only showing up on the doorstep because there's something there for me to explore as well in my relationship with that. Sometimes it may be really on the nose. Other times it may be a subtle little wink, subtle theme. But 2 line 3 shame core wounds coming in, and that's my core as well. And we are on the doorstep of a massive eclipse. We're on the doorstep of a massive eclipse, new moon in Leo tomorrow, I believe. And Leo, hear me roar. This is getting ready. I mean, if for my relationship with being a line 3, shame, core wound, and vocation, it's talk about worth. Ready for an upgrade myself. Ready for an upgrade in my relationship with my own sense of self-worth, putting myself out there, being seen, being received, all the things. So I am going to now go and tell my sweet dog, Griffin, to stop barking. He's been barking for like the last hour. There are other sounds going on over here in the basement and stuff. You know, this is also just what it is. It is what it is. My dog's barking. I've got basement sounds going on. It's going to be a journey to dial all of this in, to get it into the state of where I want it all to be from a production value. But I'm having a great time while doing it, and I hope that you are having a great time watching me do it bit by bit. So wishing y'all a good evening, and I'll catch you next Thursday morning. I'll be back 10 a.m. Eastern, and we'll see if I'm going to have a guest with me. Peace out, Instagram. See you later, YouTube.